discounted soaps.
Huh?
Wait, she was her job so serious.
Yeah.
For soaps that were like discounted,
Yeah.
not even the full price.
Like I get like the membership, but the membership's taking like 2 weeks.
Yeah, just test it quick, make sure it's still working. No back? Okay. Alright. He's gonna present also. I won't tell him. Alright. We go back there and you can start.
Okay.
Your thing's going.
I think so, yes. I'm recording. Wait, no, yeah. Alright. Anger can be startling, certainly, and it might even make us uncomfortable. But anger is not a sin. Anger is a right and just response to inequity and inaction. Rachel Held Evans in 2014 after the civil unrest in Ferguson, Missouri. When thinking of people that made a change in the history of our culture, we like thinking of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, or Martin Luther King Jr. And yes, they were great people that changed the course of their country. But sometimes change comes in small packages. Sometimes change ends too early and leaves feeling unnoticed. One of those small changes was done from a great person trapped in a small body, but a great voice. Rachel Held Evans was born in 1981 in a small town in Alabama. When she turned 14, her and her family moved to Dayton, Tennessee, since her dad took a position at the Christian University Bryan College in Dayton, Tennessee. Dayton, Tennessee was a town famous for the Monkey Scopes trial of 1925. That school was called after the lawyer that defended the state law against teaching evolution in public schools. Well, she later on graduated from that same college. Rachel will soon start questioning her upbringing, starting with evolution, the problem of evil. She will start doubting her faith. Her first book, Evolving in Monkey Town, later renamed Faith Unraveled, the same book, was written about that unfinished journey. She said, "I thought I was called to challenge the atheists, but the atheists ended up challenging me." She wrote in 2016, "I thought God wanted to use me to show gay people how to be straight. Instead, God used gay people to show me how to be Christian." That's Evolving in Monkey Town. Some people oppose her, big names in the evangelical church, but always respected her. Russell Moore, president of the Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission of the Southern Baptist Convention, said that he was her theological opposite in almost every way, but that she had always treated him with kindness and humor. Mr. Moore said, "Even in her dissent, she made us all think and helped those of us who are theological conservatives to be better because of the way she would challenge us." It was that book that found me at the deepest of my doubt when I didn't know what I needed, laying around at a discount table at Barnes & Noble's. I picked it up and devoured it. You see, I didn't know that I needed that book. As anyone who has loss of faith, when we feel we have no one to guide us, we feel we need someone to hold us by the hand and say, "Your doubts are valid, your feelings are pure, your instinct is true." On her book, Searching for Sunday, she writes, "There are recovery programs for people grieving for the loss of a parent, sibling, or spouse. You can buy books on how to cope with the death of a beloved pet or work through the anguish of a miscarriage. We speak openly with one another about the bereavement that can accompany a layoff, a move, a diagnosis, or a dream deferred, but no one really teaches you how to grieve the loss of your faith or the loss of the faith that once was. You're on your own for that." In April 2019, she will become ill. She got sick. She was 37 years old by then, and she became ill with the flu, something she thought was small. But she had to be hospitalized because of her history. At first, it didn't seem serious. She even joked about missing the end of the last season of Game of Thrones. But complications arose, and she was induced into a coma, and she died a few days later, on May 4th. In March, a couple months before her passing, she wrote, "Whether you are part of a church, whether you believe today or you doubt, whether you are a Christian or an atheist or an agnostic or a so-called none, whose faith experience transcends the limits of the label, you know this truth deep in your bones. Remember that you are dust, and to dust you will return. Death is a part of life. My prayer for you this season is that you make time to celebrate that reality and to grieve that reality, and that you will know you are not alone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust." Incredibly, that was her last post. Her impact may not be noticeable in the large scheme of things. You may not never even heard her name before. But for me, her life was the most meaningful. She made some of us rethink how we see faith. She prompted many of us to study the Bible in new, exciting ways, listening to scholars and expert historians. She helped churches open their doors to a wider audience. But most importantly, she taught us indirectly that the job is not done. Actually, the job will never be done. Not until justice exists for all and peace becomes a reality to all, instead of an excuse to sell bombs that drop across the sea. She taught us that even when one life may be too short and too small to make meaningful change, the bigger the reason to die trying. Thank you, Rachel.
I was hoping I wouldn't get emotional. No, thank you.